Hi everyone, it's Tanya from Tanya Kraus Horsemanship and you are joining me for the Millie Diaries. So as I explained in the previous videos, what I'm going to start doing now is obviously doing the things behind the scenes, not on camera, that you guys have seen about 1,000,000 times before. So I've already caught her, as you can see. I've brushed her mane. I haven't picked up her feet because it looks like we've got the opportunity today. Phil's actually home and he's here, so what we're going to do is actually get Phil to just do a little bit of handling with her. First I'm going to just run through the couple of things that I was doing with her earlier. So I'm going to use that barrel that Phil's about to be in the shop for. And you cannot sit on that. I'm going to use the barrel for the trailer loading preparation. I'm going to use the tarp on her feet to use to desensitize her to that little bit of noise on her feet. And I've actually got a cone there that I'm going to use to try and get her a little bit used to the hoof stand, because as you know, in the episode where she had that bit of trouble, I think it's just a little bit too much for her. She's got Phil to deal with, and he's got, you know, he's wearing farrier's chaps, he's got a hoof stand that makes funny noises, he's trying to get a job done, etc, etc. So it's all kind of compounding. So what I thought I'd do is actually work with her with the idea of picking her foot up and being comfortable with her putting it on a hoof stand, but I'm going to use a cone because I feel like a cone's that little bit safer. If she knocks it or kicks it over or something like that, it's not going to hurt her, and she can't, like, you know, the hoof stand's got like a screw on it and like there's just a couple of things that she could kind of, and because it's a solid round base, she could kind of get it stuck between her legs and things like that. Obviously a cone, there's still an element of that could happen, but I feel like a cone she could, you know, it's obviously rubber, it's softer, it's smaller, so I think it's a lot safer. So first I'm just going to work with her in regards to the trailer loading. So remember, we spoke about the trailer loading. One of the things that she's going to have to do is self-load. So I want to be able to stand here at the back of my trailer and direct her onto the trailer, and obviously the center divider will be there, so it'll stop her from turning. But I just want to get in this initial send. So I want to be able to do it from both ways, and I want her to have the idea that I can direct her to go somewhere without me having to walk beside her. Good, so that's pretty nice. So we'll expand on that next time, and you'll see how I start to really put a few things together to really recreate a trailer loading situation before we even start going anywhere near the trailer with her. So now I'm going to work with the tarp. So she didn't have much problem with this the other day, so little look at it there. Her feet touched it and it did make a little noise, which was fantastic. I'd like her to step on it. It is thin enough, obviously. Oh, she missed it. She went through the two cones. We'll talk about, we'll say that that's a trailer loading one because it's a nice narrow space. Good, that was noisier. Fantastic. Back. Good, so she's really picking up her feet. I'm just going to stretch it out so she has to actually stand on it. Good. And you'll notice when I'm working with her, you'll notice when I'm working with her, what I do is I try and keep my feet as still as possible. So I really try and conduct her around me. So then when she didn't want to move, I just went ahead and said, no, 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 you can move. She's getting a little bothered. So I'm not going to enter into it. Good. And when she calmly, which that's calm comparative to the shenanigans that we just had there, I'm going to call her in, reward her, give her a rest and say, good, that's all you need to do is calmly do the exercise. I actually don't mind when this mare spikes so much because that's something that she has to learn how to deal with. Obviously we've seen it a couple of times. We saw it with the wormer and we saw it with the hoof stand. So, you know, for her to be able to spike and then just come back down again is a life lesson that she's going to need to have. Good man. Perfect. So I like that, and I'm happy to leave that alone. Well, let's have a look at playing with this hoof stand. So firstly, I'm absolutely going to let her have a look at it. So I want her to pay attention to me, obviously, and what we're doing here. I'll pick up her foot. Good girl. Good, too easy. Good job. So she had a little bit of fussiness there. She was kind of like, oh, I don't want to put my foot on that. I don't want to touch it. But she did, so that's fantastic. I'll see if I can turn her around so we can see the other side better on the camera. Good. Now, one of the other things that I need to do for this mare is when I know I'm going to pick up her feet, because she hasn't had her feet picked up that often, you know, even though I've been there, I'm trying to balance her first, because if I pick up her foot and it's unbalanced, she's going to move. And I set myself up for failure there, and I set her up for failure when it's already a possibility that she's going to want to move because she doesn't want to do it anyway, instead of me investing a minute to help her balance her feet. And if she wants to have a look at that cone, she absolutely can. My little fake hoof stand there. Nice big lick and chew, this is good. Good girl. I've got one last hoof to do. So all I want to do today is get her used to the idea of working with something around her feet. She can feel that. I'll put her foot on it. Good job. Good. And when she goes to sort of snatch the hoof off me there, I immediately say, no, that's not what you are meant to do. And we'll walk away from that. So, what I thought we'd do today with Phil is I just want him to come in, maybe do a couple of lateral bends, get her nice and calm, maybe do some hindquarter yields, nothing too crazy or serious or anything like that. I just want her to start building a little bit of confidence in him and a little bit of you know, confidence in just being sort of handled by someone else. So here he is. Your buckle's offset. Makes you look crooked. You can see immediately her heart rate goes up. She gets a little worried. So you can talk through it if you like, Darren.
All I'm going to do is, as Tanya said, just come in here beside her, get that little bit of a lateral bend there, get her to look at me, give her a sniff, just hang out for a second. Good. I didn't ask for that, so I'm just going to rub her to a stop. Didn't ask her to move. I'm going to get down. This is the bad side, the side that she played up on the other day. She didn't really play up, she just wasn't confident.
You can see she's already got that leg cocked, or you might not be able to see it, we're a bit close to the camera. But she's already got that leg on Phil's side cocked up in preparation for, in anticipation for either picking it up or moving.
So I'm just going to ask her to hind quarter heel, just a step. Boom. Her choice to take all those extra steps. I only wanted one. Bend, soft as butter, that's what we want.
So with most horses, you know, other than maybe, it was funny, I was talking to someone yesterday and I was saying how Millie is kind of like a domestic Brumby because of the way that she was born in such a big area, in such a big herd, and she was kind of left alone. So she's kind of like, you know, she's a domestic bred horse, but she was raised in a very natural sort of, you know, Brumby type of a situation as Brumby you could probably get domestic wise. And so, you know, we were talking about how most of you will be able to do this pick up your feet preparation for your hoof trimmer or farrier or your hoof care professional, and you won't have to go to this extent that I've had to go to with Phil. What we're really working on here is stranger danger, because she's got a high stranger danger radar. It's not the feet that we're really working on. What we're trying to work on is her confidence around the stranger. The feet just happen to be the catalyst that really brings it out, because with any horse, them picking their feet up off the ground, it's quite a trusting gesture. And so, yeah, she's it looks like we're working on the feet, but what we're actually working on is her ability to be sort of handled by a stranger, whereas most of your domestic horses are probably, you know, been exposed to multiple people at one point or another in their lives. That's what makes her so interesting to do the Millie Diaries with.
And, you know, there was a time I would have just put a neck rope on her and jagged the back leg up and everything else, but there's no need. There's no need. You know, she's not in dire needs of any sort of work on those back feet. They're pretty good. They need trimming, but they're not bad. You know, the front feet needed doing, yeah, and we've done them. The back feet aren't bad, so, you know, why not take your time? Why not do it easy? She's a lot more relaxed around me today.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil that. So, I'm sort of just going to pat her over the rump and down her leg there. Ask for a hind quarter yield. Good girl. You run away from me less that time.
Yeah.
That was good. Do that on the other side, and that's about going to do her, I reckon.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, these little manoeuvres that Phil's doing, you know, the lateral bend and the hind quarter yield and things like that, it's just an opportunity for dialogue. That's all it is. It doesn't really matter what he does with her. It's just having a conversation. It's just opening a dialogue and saying, hey Millie, can you bend? Hey Millie, can you move that foot? Hey Millie, you know, let's have a conversation.
Even this rubbing, I'm sort of trying to find a spot on her that she wants me to rub so that I can be her paddock mate. You know, I want to find a spot where it gets her little lips are quivering, because that's where, if we were in the paddock, she'd come up and say, hey Phil, I'm a bit itchy here, can you scratch it for me? So if I can find one of them spots and scratch it for her, she'll be grateful for that. Again, moved a lot less.
Yeah.
That'll do her today, I reckon.
Yep, I agree.
Don't worry about that, that's just Corinne.
That's the neighbours. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with that. Hopefully, I don't know what tomorrow is, Monday, so I don't know what the schedule is, but hopefully Phil will be able to do that another couple of times with her, and I'll keep working on the cone as the hoof stand, and slowly but surely we'll, and then I'll start working with the actual hoof stand, but slowly but surely we'll just get her more confident with the whole process. And yeah, just keep chipping away like we have been. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, Phil.
It's alright.